National Arts Festival is now underway in Makhanda in the Eastern Cape. It's been running for many, many years. Was once known as the Grahamstown Festival. Monica Newton is the CEO of the National Arts Festival. Monica, good afternoon to you. We live in an incredibly vibrant society, some of the most amazing stories, some of the most amazing changes taking place. How is that reflected in this year's festival? There's so many different stories and issues to choose from.
Well, every year's festival reflects the stories of the time, the stories of the past, and of course, our dreams for the future. So every festival is new, every festival is different. But of course, this year's festival is incredibly special because it's our 50th. So the stories are diverse. They speak to our past and the extraordinary artists and folks that have been across our stages, speak to historical figures who've changed the landscape of the world that we live in. There's a very strong theme relating to 30 years of democracy because it's 2024 after all. But then there's a very interesting theme about where we want to be. Where does the arts find itself in the next 10 years, the next 20 years? What does the festival mean for people in the next 10, 20, 50 years? So it's a very interesting moment in time for the National Arts Festival this year. And we're really, really excited to be presenting work, as always, for local and international audiences.
I made the point that our society is changing very quickly. And I think at this sort of moment of what sort of feels sometimes like political change, I mean, that can really spur creativity. I know people will have written and produced their works before the election, but still, I imagine you can't really have an art festival in South Africa without politics coming into it somewhere.
There's definitely fodder for it. Our comedians are lining up and they will always be the first to satirize ourselves, show a mirror to ourselves to laugh at, and that's always something incredibly special. But I think that there is a deeply thoughtful undercurrent as to where we've been, where we've come from, the things that have gone well, and there's a lot, and the things that have not been what we hoped to see. And I guess the moment is now to really make a decision to do a different thing, and for the arts to continue to be that point of protest, that point of education, that point of inspiration, that point of resilience. And I think those are some of the key kind of touch points of this year's festival.
Festivals, arts festivals, music festivals too, can sort of shift and change and go up and down a little bit. And you can't say that one is necessarily better than the other. Some may have, you know, a group of really good productions. Sometimes one production or one artist in a music festival can almost dominate an entire festival. Do you still find that there is as much interest as there used to be? I mean, you had a pandemic you had to deal with, but are you finding both on the side of the people who come and both on the side of the people who want to produce work for the festival?
I think there remains considerable interest. I don't think we can claim that we're at pre-COVID levels. I don't think anybody in the live events industry in South Africa is quite at that pinnacle as yet. And things have really, really changed. People's behavioral patterns have changed. We're now competing with the huge streaming services. We've got a lot on our plates in terms of what South Africans are dealing with as well, in terms of cost, and in terms of just what it takes to get through the day and get through the month, let alone put money aside to come to a festival. And we're so grateful that so many people still do. We've had considerable interest both in our open calls and from elsewhere across the country this year to present at the festival. Our audience is really interesting. So our profile is almost 50-50 between men and women. And there's an almost equal split between major cohorts between 18 and 65. So somehow the festival remains relevant. It remains a place where both genders are happily represented. We have a huge Eastern Cape audience, which we're massively appreciative of, but also audiences that join us from around the country. So there's no question that our world has changed, but I think we are in a space where we can adapt and we can learn and we can present new things, try new things, which is what's really so exciting about the next 50 years, is how does the National Arts Festival remain relevant, remain on somebody's bucket list, remain somewhere where they bring their kids to learn to be art lovers. So that's really where our eye is at as we do this festival as well.
The venue is important. I mean, Makhanda, the great strength of that city is its size. I suspect you can walk from venue to venue. You don't need to use a car. Is that still a major strength? I mean, anywhere else you would probably have to provide some kind of transport.
We do have a hopper service here because Makhanda is small, but not that small. And we do use venues across the city. But I think fundamentally the town is special. The festival grew up here. It has grown into it. And we're incredibly privileged in this small city to have incredibly good venues. We have Rhodes University next door, so we have use of their wonderful theatre space and their other spaces. We've got the incredible jewel in our crown, the Guy Butler Theatre here with us at the Monument, which as a 900-odd seater full theatre is quite unusual for a small town to have. So we're very grateful to the city of Makhanda that they are our host. We work very closely with all of the local stakeholders, including our municipality, to make sure that this festival works. And our team can build a venue out of anything. The very boring conference room next door to my office is a theatre for the next 11 days, which is a lot more exciting than it's been for the rest of the year. So it's a wonderful time because it speaks about what's possible. And in a city like Makhanda that's had some difficult times and certainly has some difficult times ahead, there's consistent bad publicity. We're working together, we're investing in the city to make sure that this small town of ours can continue to be a place, a destination, and a place where art lovers congregate every year.
Monica Newton, thank you very much indeed, CEO for the National Arts Festival. Really do appreciate the time underway now in Makhanda.